Welcome to In 5 Minutes. Now we'll discuss the topic of arrays or strings as function parameters. One-dimensional array, 2D array, or even strings we can pass as function parameters with other parameters. Like a normal function can have int as parameter, float as parameter, even pointer as parameter, structure as a parameter. It can have even array or string as a parameter also. When we have to define a function with array or strings as parameters, we have to write the data type of the array, name of the array, and box bracket with size of the array. Size is optional. We need not mention the size while writing a one-dimensional array or strings. But while writing 2D array, that is two-dimensional array, we need to mention the column size. Most of the college books, that is study material, mentions while writing the array as a parameter, you can mention the size. That is a better option. Now let's see how to write a function with a array as a parameter. Here we are defining a function average that takes array of int as parameter, calculates the average of the numbers in the array, and returns the average. Now we want to mention over here array as a parameter. So we'll write, we have defined a function already but not completely. So here I'll define a integer array as a parameter by writing int, then some name of the array and box bracket. Size is not compulsory. If you want to mention size as any value, you can mention it, but not compulsory. Now assuming we are going to work with average of 5 integers, first I need to define some variables over here as, let's say, integer I for looping. For calculation of average of the numbers in the array, we need to define some variables over here. Let's define integer I as a looping variable. Then I'll define two more float variables. One is, let's say, sum, set to 0 to get the sum of the numbers, and let's say v as a variable to get the average. Now we'll go through the array to get the sum of the numbers by writing for I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, sum plus equal to bi, so it sums b0, b1, b2, b3 and so on in the loop. After loop terminates, we'll get some value as s, which will be sum of the numbers. To get the average, we'll let v equal to sum upon 5, that is sum upon total numbers, and then this value of v will return back to main by writing return v. Now let's look at the entire function. We have a function with name avg taking integer array as a parameter. Name is immaterial, you can write any name, but whatever name you write over here, just follow that same name over here in the program. Then the function needs to calculate and return the average. We have mentioned float over here. Now as the program starts working, we have array a defined in main with size 5. Then the for loop inputs 5 values in the array. After that, we have to call the function and pass array as a parameter. When you're passing array as a parameter, just write the array name. You are not supposed to write any box bracket or any size. We have to just mention the array name. So it's just like a normal function call, v equal to avg in bracket a, where a is a array name. So array with some values over here will be passed to b. Here the calculation of average, sum and average will be done. The value of the average will be written back to the variable v, and that will be printed in main. So basically, while passing array as a parameter, you have to mention the type of the array, name of the array, and size is optional. We can have some more parameters also in the function. It need not be only single array. It can be array with other parameters too. Now suppose you want to declare this function, that is function prototype, then obviously you have to do it at the beginning of the program. Now here, since we have written the function before main, prototype or declaration is not compulsory, but if we want to write it, how we write it is like this. We write float as a return type, then function name as avg, then in box bracket we have to mention only type of the array and the box bracket to mention array as a parameter, and then semicolon, because a function declaration requires return type, function name and variable types, that is parameter types. So you have to mention int box bracket to mention int array as a parameter, and then semicolon to terminate the declaration. Thank you.